Despite its name, Schneider Electric does not generate electricity. It's an energy management company mixing electrification and digitization together so customers like Nvidia know exactly where their energy is consumed and can then optimize in real time their energy usage. I sat down with company chairman Jean-Pascal Tricoire, who has been with Schneider nearly 40 years, but says he has never seen a revolution in energy technology like he's seeing now.
AI is a revolution of our time, and when you look at AI, the biggest bottleneck of AI is energy again. So we did before climate, we did before AI, energy is front and center into developing a new phase in the economy. If you want to stay competitive in industry, you've got to electrify. So, which means we are today in a world which is 20% electrical, and it's been like this for many, many years. Be prepared for a world that's going to be 40 to 60% electrical in the next coming 25 years.
People tend to think Schneider Electric is an electric company, but you don't generate energy. Explain what exactly your company does.
We bring electrification from the grid. We don't generate energy, but we bring in the most efficient, the most reliable, the safest, and the most, I would say, sustainable way, electrons from the grid to whatever usage. Buildings, data centers, industries, infrastructure. And we do that by mixing electrification and digitization together so that our customers know exactly where their energy is getting consumed and can optimize in real time all their equation of energy.
And what is the innovation you're doing now that you have so much demand from data center technology, AI, even quantum real estate?
So data center is 25% of our turnover. We are, on a global scale, leader in supplying powertrains to data centers. What's incredible with the surge of AI is that the consumption of data center is exploding at the moment much faster than before. So it's going to double in 2030, it's going to be multiplied by 4 in 2035, and so on and so on.
But do we have enough?
So,
I mean, where do you get this power?
Well, the point is that if we believe, and I think we all believe that AI is absolutely essential, strategically essential to any country, we've got to create the space to give those data centers enough electricity for the future. I mean, installing more GPUs is asking for gigawatts of power.
And where should the energy come from, though?
So there are many resources. Number one, there is more efficiency everywhere else. If every time you save 30% of energy in a building, in manufacturing, in a city, that's as much electricity that you can push into a data center.
But you're asking a lot of cities to, pull back and work.
Well, by the way, it has one advantage, is that it saves money for users. We are speaking about investment in efficiency thanks to digitization, and I'll come back to that. We have a payback within 3 years. So it has a real economic return. Number two, there's going to be more decentralized generation. And we do a lot of projects today with data centers to provide energy at the door of their data centers. Number three, grids have been a little bit worn out everywhere in the world, and they need to be upgraded. But digitizing the grid, doing smart grids, frees a lot of power. So if you put everything together on managing in a much more connected and organized manner, on decentralized manner energy, then there is a solution to power data centers. And then there is everything we do every day with data centers to optimize the consumption of data centers and make it more efficient.
How do you do that?
For instance, I'll take an example. We have a very strong collaboration with Nvidia so that we make sure at every generation they come out with that the solution we put together will maximize or minimize the consumption of energy to power their installations. And we do that also with all the large companies who do data centers. So it's teamwork at every generation to make sure that we extract the most power from the electrons which are produced.
So you mentioned Nvidia. We're taping this week during Climate Week, and we just had the announcement last night that Nvidia is investing $100 billion in OpenAI. How much of a piece of that is Schneider going to get down the road? What
I can tell you is that we are paired as a team with companies like Nvidia, because if there is no power, GPUs can't work. But I want also to mention one thing which is probably underestimated, is the role of AI on optimizing the energy.
Simplify that a little, because it's very high level.
To make it very simple, AI can help gaining in efficiency 4 times more than it consumes.
Really?
4 to 9 times more. Because before, okay, we are digitizing the power chain and everything, but it was difficult to optimize this at scale. Today, for the first time, we've got engines, computing engines, that can integrate all the complexity of what you do, what I do, what this data center is doing, what the grid can power, what this power plant can produce, what this solar rooftop can do in real time, and make sure that we consume much better at the right time, the right sort of energy. So it's a whole revolution of digital energy which is happening.
So you're concentrating on efficiency, which is a wonderful way of getting that to them, but the electricity, the power has to come into electricity from somewhere, and you have solar, you have wind, you have geothermal, you have nuclear. What excites you most in that sort of more sustainable field of getting to electricity?
For me, all of the above. And everybody has a role, and it's probably one of the biggest changes that you can observe in energy today, with that decentralized model of energy production. That means all of us can become actors of that energy transition. If your home is not consuming any more electricity because you are autonomous with solar batteries to a very large extent, because you recharge your electric vehicle, then that means you have freed enough power to power a fraction of this data center which is close to you. And all of us can become, in our enterprises, in our homes, in our daily life and professional life, actors of this transition for a world which is more efficient and somewhere more sustainable.
But it is having an impact on communities, the energy suck, as it were, that some communities are really protesting, saying that the data centers, the grids are all focused on AI, they're focused on fueling that. My electric bills are going up, but you manage the power. What do you say to just residents of any area globally that the power is going to the data centers and causing them to have to pay for it?
Well, all of this needs planning, and people who are the orchestrator of that transition are the utilities, and they have in their hands the tools to manage that balance of demand between data centers or other industries, by the way, on consumers. What we are giving them are digital tools which for the first time gives them the possibility to understand what is happening and optimize automatically what is happening.
I promised to get off data centers soon, but just one more thing, because I didn't know that Schneider Electric actually works with liquid cooling. Explain what you do there.
Well, those chips which are powering AI or enabling AI are chips which are consuming a lot of energy, and with that they got very hot. And you need to cool them directly on the chip by bringing liquid directly on the chip. So what we organize is the movement of electron from the grid to the chip, and the movement of heat from the chip to the liquid on outside of the data center to cool them.
Outside of data centers, finally, because I want to get away from data centers. I mean, you power airports, you power all sorts of industrial buildings, everything else. What is the common thread, really? You talk about AI and making it more efficient, but what else, is that the common thread in powering all of the built environment and getting enough electricity, getting enough energy, and making it as sustainable as you can?
No, look, I think we have, number one, across all the other applications, a big potential of more efficiency, and therefore of cutting the cost, on making buildings, manufacturing, cities much more efficient than they are today. So that's something that we combine, or that we achieve by combining electrification and digitization. I've already said that. Second thing is that all of those applications are going to become more electrical. You're going to have electrical plugs to recharge vehicles in every parking. That is happening, and that will keep happening as we go forward. You're going to have more electrical ways to heat and cool the buildings as we go forward. Industrial cycles are becoming more electrified. That movement, of course, is happening in the US, but it's happening faster outside of the US.
Because the US has pulled back.
That's.
I mean, has it politically?
Let's be back to basics. The other geographies like Europe, India, China are doing it because we have no fossil fuel. So the only way to become more competitive is to become more electrical. So you see that acceleration of the double transition of the demand on the supply happening much faster outside because you need it, right? And that will give place to a lot of innovation, to a place where the supply and the demand in terms of electrical will be done in a very different manner.
And if that efficiency is driving that economic competition globally, is the US left behind?
I think it's many factors going there, but those choices affect relative competitiveness as we're going. Now, but good news, I see that the US is also electrifying fast, right? On using many ways, all of the above, to reach this objective. Again, decentralized distribution, making the grid smarter, and equipped with digital, and so on. So everybody is finding its own way to cope with that electrification and make it competitive economically.
But it's really the global multinational companies who want the efficiency and who want, you know, the revenue, et cetera, from all of this that are pushing the sustainable energy and the new energy coming in that's necessary. Would you say that it's global corporations over countries and politics, that they're just taking the lead?
I think companies are very pragmatic.
They want to make money.
If a solution makes money, they will go for it, right? And if on the top of it, it's better for their footprint, they will go even faster. So we've not seen much of a change in the intention and direction of companies. And there is so much innovation taking place today, and the cost curves of new technologies are going down so fast that companies are adopting new ways of doing things. Number two, all companies, and especially American companies, are global companies. They are large companies, and they operate for a large amount outside of the US. So as soon as they operate in different geographies, they have to find solutions to stay competitive and to become more competitive. So they are innovating on deploying ways of dealing with energy which is different.
But they're not afraid of, I mean, the US has imposed tariffs as retaliations. There have been all types of retaliatory acts by this administration to companies that do want to do things that are more sustainable. Is there any fear, at least in your world, of that?
Look, I see that the US companies are doing pretty well, right? And they keep doing well.
Okay.
And there is so much innovation in the country and so much unique features to those companies.
As long as they drive AI.
That they incorporate AI, that they incorporate the right form of energy, they will stay competitive and develop their competitiveness outside in the world. Take a company like Schneider. We have multiple partnerships with US origin companies to deploy digitization and electrification around the world. That US is our by far largest country. We just invested $1 billion in new manufacturing, in new capacity in the country. But I've been meeting again this week and last week a lot of companies, and we are doing partnerships not only here, but outside in many other countries.
And just finally, you've been doing this a long time, I know. Is this the most exciting time in the field of what you do, given the extraordinary demands for what you actually manage?
I think people are completely underestimating the revolution which will happen in the field of energy in the 2 decades to come. So yes, I'm feeling very excited by the times we are in. I think that combination of electrification technologies that I cited, plus digitization augmented to a completely different level by AI, creates a number of possibilities that we've never seen before. And the great news is that's not things that should be deployed in 10 years' time, 20 years' time. Those are technologies that should be or can be deployed today with a great economic return.